Hello, hello, hi, folks. Happy, happy Monday, in hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome, welcome. I made it on the buzzer again tonight, but I'm glad that I did. Today is a big day. It's a big day for a lot of folks, if not all of us. It's Martin Luther King Jr.'s day. And I thought I share some thoughts about his life and what we can learn, obviously, from him. And such a big man, right? Such a big man, big mark on history, right? He actually put a dent in the world before he left. And that's how I like to think of him. Some of the big movers and shakers in the world, I'd like to say that they put a dent in the world and they left. And MLK Jr. is definitely one that put a dent in the world before he left. He was born on January 15th, 1929, and graduated as the valedictorian of Crozer Theological Seminary in 1951. King became a pastor of a Baptist church in Montgomery, Alabama, and later completed his PhD. He was a religious man. He was a pastor. He looked at racism and all of the so-called but equal laws and the horrible treatment of people of color in U.S., right? He would say, this is absolutely wrong. This is against God's will. On the eve of Rosa Parks' refusal to move to the back of the city bus in 1955, King was chosen to lead a citywide bus boycott. 2 years later, King and a group of civil rights activists formed the Southern Christian Leadership Conference to conduct a non-violent protests for civil rights. When MLK led the Alabama boycott, that was a major turning point in the fight for civil rights. What you saw was people who were separated come together as one, walking together with others joining the fight. I mean, we're talking no Facebook. We're talking no social media. How did he get everybody together? 20,000 people. Inspired by Gandhi's activism, King worked with SCLC to organize Black voters and civil rights protests. In 1963, King was arrested at a march in Alabama. During his prison time, King wrote a rebuttal to an article denouncing his methods. His longhand notes in the margin of the newspaper became known as Letters of Birmingham Jail and was famously republished and studied in colleges across the country. He used to write on the columns of the newspapers. MLK was a man of God who believed in social change. He put his life in line for that. I mean, he thought he felt like that was his calling, and he fulfilled that. On August 28th, 1963, King led more than 20,000 people in a massive demonstration at the Lincoln Memorial, where his speech, "I Have a Dream," became a defining moment in civil rights history. Through his work, King helped pass the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and received the Nobel Peace Prize that same year. He personified the civil rights movement. Now, it wasn't like all glory and all flowers, and he actually received criticism from other Black leaders. He continued his peaceful efforts towards both racial and economic justice. After he delivered "I Have Been to the Mountaintop" speech at a rally in Memphis, King was assassinated the next day on April 4th, 1968, while standing in the balcony of his motel room. His assassination was devastating for so many people. He was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1977 and the Congressional Gold Medal in 2004. And MLK National Holiday is celebrated every year still on the third Monday of January. What a man, huh? Once in a while, somebody comes along and decides to go full force for their purpose. And when they do that, history will remember them. They put a dent in the world. They leave a legacy. Isn't that what it's all about? I mean, imagine if, it's a big day, and it puts me in thought. And imagine if we all did that. Imagine if we all fulfilled our purposes. Imagine what we all could do. I think about that. You have your purpose, I have mine. Imagine if you fulfilled yours, found it, went for it, fulfilled it. And imagine if I did the same thing. If I found it, went for it, and fulfilled it. Imagine that world, both yours and like the world. Your world would really be different, right? And the impact that you make on the world would be huge. I think it's powerful, when you have folks like Martin Luther King Jr. that really rise from all kinds of adversity, and they just it almost feels like they feel like they have this wall around them that they can't be touched, and they just go for it, right? It's like that I've talked about it before. It's that rhino skin, right? Rhinos have an inch and a half thick skin. Imagine that, right? Nothing will affect them. So I think it's just powerful and just so empowering when you have somebody just, boom, come and shake up the world, you know? I think that's just amazing. And, you know, my salute to the king and what he has done for everybody. Like, he has changed. He literally has changed history, right? He has made history. So I appreciate that. There was so much that I could share with his life story, and there's just so much, but I had to pick just a few things to talk for you tonight. But there's just so much about this man's life that is just amazing, right? Just amazing. So hopefully you got some love, some inspiration from this, some value. Hopefully you feel like, it's good stuff. I should probably share this. Tag a couple folks, share it on your wall, do what you got to do, spread the love. I appreciate you. Hey, some of you may have even met the king. Some of you may have been around that long that you have met the king. And if you were there, oh my goodness, come on, you gotta share. If you have any recollection, any idea, any experience, any memories from the king, come on, don't hold back. And I know some of you have, so don't hold back. Drop it in the comments below. Let this feed grow. I appreciate you guys. And remember, if you share, you show that you care. And until tomorrow, where we do it all over again. Much love.